UFC Vegas 78 is coming up this weekend. Today I have the complete betting guide for you. We're going to talk about confident picks. We're going to talk about underdog opportunities, fights that you should avoid, fights that you should not be betting on, lock of the week, and the official bets that I will be placing. We're going to talk about all of that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. And like I said, welcome back to a brand new betting guide video. Guys, timestamps are there. If you would like to use them, if you'd like to skip to a particular section, I would appreciate you guys watching whatever part that you like to. Let's start off with the confident picks for today. Starting off with my first confident pick, we have Josh Fremd. Now, Josh Fremd has been, he's had a little bit of a rough go in his UFC, just like Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett also has had a little bit of a rough go in the recent times in the UFC, but we've seen lots from both of these guys, to be honest with you. Coming into the UFC, Josh Fremd had a little bit of a really tough go, and he's lost against fighters that seem to be pretty decent, but then against Rodriguez Dumas, he actually looked fantastic. He showed he's become this fighter where it's like he has a real strength in the wrestling department. And that's what seems like Jamie Pickett. He doesn't necessarily have like too big of a weakness, but that's how you beat him. And I can see Josh Fremd doing that. I was very impressed with his ground game from what we've seen. I feel like he's going to come forward. He's going to lay on Jamie Pickett, either that or find a submission, because Jamie Pickett, while he is a good striker, as of recent, man, I have not been impressed from what I've seen. He's getting a little bit older now. He doesn't have a ton of miles on him, but it's just like, nothing about Jamie Pickett screams like he's going to beat Josh Fremd to me. This dude is getting better every single time I see him. He has some momentum on his side, and I really like what I've seen, especially in his last fight just 4 months ago. Josh Fremd is a confident pick of mine. Okay, guys, for this next fight, and I have a huge problem, okay? I have a huge problem putting a confident pick for the WMMA strawweight division, because we've seen time and time again in this division that anything can happen. However, I find myself having Jacqueline Amarim as a confident pick here. You guys got to understand, if you watch UFC, you got to understand my hesitancy to put Jacqueline Amarim as a confident pick of mine. Jacqueline Amarim is somebody that I have been watching throughout LFA through the years, and she is one of those fighters who has very nice technique, very nice power. She is one of the girls in this division that I can actually see going quite far. The problem is, she had a recent loss against Sam Hughes, and I kind of, while she did lose, I chalk that up to being the strawweight division. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I believe she's better than this loss. I believe she actually has some very nice technique on her hands, and Montserrat Ruiz is going to come in with a wrestling heavy game, try to take her down, but I feel like even if that happens, Amarim will have the defensive skills necessary to fight back whatever Ruiz has against her. I really like her in this matchup. I think she's better than her last loss. I just think she's a very skilled fighter, man. I think she's just better than Montserrat Ruiz. But because of the strawweight division in the women's MMA, and I apologize if you hear my puppy barking just now, I'm going to go check on her. I believe she's just better, man. I'm not going to be betting on her, but she's a confident pick of mine. Something's just stopping me. This Sam Hughes loss is just stopping me. But looking at these two fighters, she should be better. All right, guys, let's talk underdog opportunities. And it is important to note, if you haven't watched any of these videos before, these underdog opportunity picks of mine are not picks. I am picking, for example, Isaac Dulgarian is an underdog opportunity for this week. I am actually picking Francis Marshall to win this fight. I'm just saying, if you are looking for underdog opportunities, in my opinion, these are the most likely to hit. That's all I'm saying about these opportunities. So the first one is going to be Isaac Dulgarian. At the time of recording this video, he is sitting at a plus 250 underdog. This guy, okay, he looks like, if you go back and look at any of his fights, he looks like he could be something special, but the could be is the problem here. He's fought people who, he's fought like no level of competition. That's the problem. But what from we have seen, we've seen wonderful wrestling, BJJ, we've seen nice striking, we've seen nice power, he has nice finishes on his hand, but he hasn't fought anyone of significance, and he's only had 5 fights ever. He's fighting Francis Marshall, who is a guy who is very proven in the UFC, and that's the reason I'm not necessarily picking him, but I would not be surprised if Dulgarian does live up to the hype. He comes in, steamrolls Francis Marshall like we have seen him in these 5 wins that he has had. So, underdog opportunity at the plus 250 as of right now. If you're looking for an underdog, this isn't a bad opportunity for you to hit on, to be honest with you. But I am, at the end of the day, I'm going to be picking Francis Marshall. The next underdog opportunity I have for you guys is actually going to be Cub Swanson. He's taken Hakeem Dawodu. Now, Cub Swanson, at the time of recording this video, is a plus 300 underdog. That is crazy, in my opinion. Now, Cub Swanson, he has had a very rough go as of recent. He's coming back up to the featherweight division after losing against Jonathan Martinez recently in the bantamweight division. So he's coming up to a weight that he has fought at his entire career. Problem is, he's 40 years old, and he's clearly lost a step from what he once was. If this was about 2015, 2016, I would say Cub Swanson, lock of the week. He's a very decorative striker. He is a better striker than Hakeem Dawodu, but the problem is, Cub Swanson, his age and the damage that he's taken is finally catching up with him. I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying he is significantly slowed down from the fighter that he once was before. Hakeem is one of those guys with a very spotty record. He has very good fundamentals, very good counter-striking. I could see this fight honestly going both ways. I think Cub Swanson is the better and more skilled fighter. So if you're looking for an underdog opportunity, I'm not going to hop on this myself because, again, he's 39 years old and had a really rough run recently. But it's not a bad underdog to have. At 3-1 odds right now, Hakeem Dawodu has not really shown me anything too impressive to beat a guy like Cub Swanson. So make of that what you will. All right, guys, let's talk about fights to avoid. Fights that I do not think you should be betting on. And the first one is going to be Terrence McKinney. Now, Terrence McKinney, like this dude, I don't know what to think about him anymore. He's looked really good coming in. He had a lot of hype, but then got stopped by Drew Dober. Got a win after that, which was really nice. But then now he's on a 2-fight skid. But this 2-fight skid that he's on is against fighters who are very, very good in themselves. So if he's taking on a lower, like no disrespect to Mike Breeden, but he's taking on Mike Breeden in somebody who is a significantly lower level than these 2 losses that he's had. So is Terrence McKinney going to come here with a wrestling approach, striking approach, try to knock people out, trying to knock Mike Breeden out? I don't know. Like, I don't know what to think about Terrence McKinney anymore. And that he is literally the entire reason why I think this should be a fight to avoid. I don't think you should be betting on Terrence McKinney at all. Mike Breeden is just a fighter that he's an okay guy. You know what I mean? Is he going to crack Terrence McKinney? We've seen him have chin issues lately. So I don't know, man. I think you should stay away from this one if you're betting this weekend. Guys, the other fight that I believe you should be avoiding this week is Tafon Nzechukwu versus AJ Dobson. I don't have too much to say about this fight besides they have very similar careers, they have very similar skill sets, and I don't know what to think, especially somebody in Tafon from the 205 division coming down the middleweight. We don't know necessarily how he's going to look there coming back down to middleweight, so I don't know. Again, they have very similar skill sets, and I believe this is a very, very similar fight. They've even had similar career paths. They're coming off of 2-fight skids, you know. I don't have too much else to say about this one, but I would completely stay away from it, in my opinion. Too many questions for me. And guys, the last fight that I believe you should be avoiding is Khalil Roundtree versus Chris Daukaus. And this is all because all of the questions right now are on Chris Daukaus. He is a longtime heavyweight coming down to the 205 division, and he's fighting a guy who is a very, very skilled Muay Thai fighter at 205 in Khalil Roundtree. Like, this is not an easy fight for Chris Daukaus to come down to. He was very fast and very strong at heavyweight, but he was also a very undersized heavyweight. He wasn't in shape, and now he's coming into 205, and we don't know how Chris Daukaus is going to look. How's his chin going to be at 205? What if Khalil Roundtree chops at him? You know what I mean? Is he going to be durable? We don't know. Long story short, guys, I could go into every single question that Chris Daukaus brings for this fight, but there are nothing but questions and uncertainties when it comes to Chris Daukaus moving down to 205. That's the whole reason why I believe you should stay away from this. If he was fighting somebody like a little bit lower level than Khalil Roundtree, then I'd be like, okay, maybe Chris Daukaus is someone to take a look at. But he's a heavyweight that found no success, and we don't know if he's going to find success at light heavyweight. That's why I'm staying away from it. Plus, Khalil Roundtree is a very good fighter. Don't get me wrong, Chris Daukaus could come in and look very good, but too many questions. This is the fight out of everything so far that I think that you should be avoiding the most. All right, guys, let's talk lock of the week, and lock of the week is going to be Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee, oh my God, like honestly, at the time of recording this video, I know in Typology it says minus 400, but he moved on to, it's about the same. But JP Buys moved up to a plus 400 underdog at the time of recording this video. So Marcus McGee came in like a monster. I saw him fight in LFA, and it was like, he looked really, really, really good. But he fought a guy who's 8-7 and unproven. So I was like, okay, how's he going to look into the UFC? But he passed this test with flying colors. This guy was aggressive. This guy was powerful. He looks like, I'm not saying he's like looking like he's going to be championship material, but I wholeheartedly believe he is top 15 material. I believe he's going to storm through JP Buys, and I believe that he's going to burst, not after this fight, of course, but I think he's going to burst into the bantamweight division, bantamweight rankings, excuse me. JP Buys, he's had a little bit of a rough go. While I do think he's better than his record shows, we have noticed that it seems like JP Buys does have a chin problem at this point, and he's kind of just has an okay skill set everywhere, where I don't believe anything that JP Buys has will be enough to defend against the aggression that Marcus McGee will bring. This dude is very all-rounded. I love what he's done on the ground, and I cannot wait. He's my lock of the week, and I promise you I'm not biased, but I cannot wait to see this guy perform again. I'm so excited to see. So guys, Marcus McGee is going to be my lock of the week. I don't know if I'm going to be betting on him yet, because it may perhaps a parlay piece, but we'll talk about that in the next section. All right, guys, let's talk about the official bets that I will be making this week. And I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot that I want to do this week, because usually I typically go with the 1.5 round bets. Usually I do that for the women's fights, but I don't even know if I want to do Polyana Viana. She has a history of finishing fights. And I don't know if I want to do Juliana Miller versus Juana Santos. This fight I might do. But the one that I will do is Jacqueline Amaram versus Montserrat Ruiz. Okay, I'm going to be doing that for sure. Although I can even see that going backfiring a little bit, okay? You know what I mean? The other ones that I do like for over 1.5 rounds is Cub Swanson versus Hakeem Dawodu and Vicente Luque versus Rafael dos Anjos. But the problem is I can see Vicente Luque coming in having an Eddie Alvarez type performance against Rafael dos Anjos. So it's a very tough week, especially for somebody like me who enjoys the 1.5 round bets. So let's take a look at, like, let's say I want to start with some confident picks, okay? Let's take, like, Marcus McGee, okay? That's an easy given, but the problem is you have 1.25 there, which isn't good at all. I'm definitely not going to be betting on Jacqueline Amaram. No, I've been bitten in the butt way too many times with WMA. I believe she's just the better fighter. You know what I mean? This is tough. This is tough because, like, the only one that I really like is Marcus McGee. I might parlay this with some, like, Bellator type fighters. You know what I mean? But there's literally, I apologize again about my dog, guys. I apologize if you can hear her. I don't know if the mic's picking her up. But I think the only safe one for me this week is Marcus McGee. And I want to, where is Josh Fremd? There he is. But that's only 1.62. So if I'm putting like 20 bucks on that, I only get 30 bucks back. That's like not even that worth it. This is a very, very tricky week for betting. I might play around with like $5 here and there. So like, let's say if I want to do, I don't know. Let's say other fighters that I think you're going to win, but I'm not overly confident on, but have better odds. Let's say like Vicente Luque, Martin Bidet. Like if you want to do that, then that's better. You're almost getting 3-1. Vicente Luque is pretty good. But even then, like Vicente Luque and Rafael dos Anjos, that's a tough fight to pick, man. But if I want to go like Jacqueline Amaram, let's say I want to add her, okay? Jacqueline Amaram, and I want to go Marcus McGee and Joshua Fremd. I think that's not too bad, and that's over double your money. But if you want to put in some 1.5 round bets, that's not too bad. So the only one that I will definitely be doing, guys, is Marcus McGee and Josh Fremd. That's the only one I'm definitely doing. I might play around, like, I might just, like, I like Cub Swanson as an underdog opportunity. I might hit that myself. Like, if I want 10 bucks, that's going to give me 30 bucks. So I really, really don't mind that. Actually, to be honest with you, that's very, very good odds for that fight. I might hit that. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that, although I am not confident on it one little bit. It's a good underdog opportunity, but Joshua Fremd and Marcus McGee, those are the only ones that I really, really like this week, guys. Other than that, man, I don't know. Amaram's not one that... that's tough. That's a toughie, guys. This is what I want to hear from you guys, okay? Comment down below. Let me know what your picks are going to be, what your bets are going to be, because it's a very tricky week for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this betting guide. We have this out every single week, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button, help out the channel a ton, and subscribe if you are brand new. On the screen right now, you'll have 2 videos from the Clenbat channel. Check them out. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.